Welcome, people. Welcome, people on Discord. Unfortunately, not on YouTube due to technical issues. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. I am Drew, and with me here, as always,
Dustin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
All right. So, like I mentioned, no streaming on YouTube. We're just going to keep it on here. But what's going on, Justin?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Not so good because of the YouTube situation, but it is what it is. But like I mentioned, I'll just upload the audio portion from tonight's show onto YouTube. But we have a nice little show going on tonight. I don't know if I would say nice, dealing with the subject matter, but we have some things to talk about. So I think we should kind of get things started. But before we do, we like to do a little segment. I guess almost like a pregame segment, if you want to call it that. I guess about things that we liked in the pro wrestling world in the past week, whether it was segments, matches, something somebody did that we thought was pretty cool. Maybe if it's something that someone did that we thought was not so cool. In this case, I can't really think of anything someone has done that was uncool.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to anything. It doesn't have to be anything positive. It's just something that's on your mind.
Right.
It happened in wrestling, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a positive thing. It can be I won't say negative thing, but just something that's on your mind. With that being said, Drew, what do you want to bring up first? What do you want to talk about?
Sorry. I guess it's kind of a little small thing that I am really enjoying a lot of the mid-card segments as well as the women's, matches on Raw.
Okay.
The main event scene on Raw has kind of been not so bueno. I know I've been the Jey Uso hater on this show.
Yeah, very much so. Yep.
It's just, again, I like to give everybody a chance. He just hasn't been doing it for me lately. He's just not that guy to me.
In what aspect?
He just doesn't really come off as somebody that's confident or cool. Like I hate to say it, but he kind of sounds stupid sometimes. He kind of acts and sounds stupid.
What did he say on Monday in the promo with Paul Heyman that he didn't sound confident or stupid?
It's just his attitude and his swagger. Like the whole time, Paul Heyman's just pretty much doing the promo of his life and just going out there and getting crazy and crashing out, as the kids would say. And great promo,
right.
obviously. But like the whole time, Jay just has this very confused and almost like bewildered look on his face. And I can't tell if maybe he was trying to think of something interesting to say, or if that's just kind of how he is. He just goes, he just uses one speed essentially, and then he did the stupid babyface thing, which again we've gone after other babyfaces for doing it, like Cody, for example, where Cody will be like, "Yeah, I'll wrestle you tonight, even if it means I might lose my title tonight in a match that's unnecessary."
Right.
Jay did that, so. There's that, and again, just the main event.
Devil's advocate, if he didn't defend this title, it'd be like, no, I'm not gonna do that tonight. What would that conversation look like?
Again, it's just I'm not feeling Jay, unfortunately.
Well, no, I'm asking a question. What would that conversation look like?
Probably about the same.
So he can't win. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, tomato. I mean the Seth thing. I always go back and forth with Seth, where say what you want about him. Once that bell rings, he can go. He can go with the best of them. Yeah, he's great. The whole heel thing is kind of weird. Like it's one of those things of like last Monday, for example. Like he's out in the ring with Braun and Paul, and you got Paul there who should really be doing all the talking. But Seth is the one doing all the talking, which is like, then why do you have Paul Heyman there if Paul Heyman's just going to stand there? You know what I mean? So, like this
I get what you're saying, but at times too as well, not every single manager that needs to be there needs to talk. Paul Heyman's there to make this new group legitimate and really there to enhance Braun Breaker. This group is to
Right.
really enhance Braun Breaker
That's
to
what
the
that's what I
main
like
event
though.
scene. Yeah.
That's why I don't mean to talk over you, but like that's what I like though. That's the one thing I'm really intrigued about is Braun Breaker. Like Braun Breaker with Paul, and Paul, kind of has that history with the Steiners, going
Right,
back,
absolutely.
to like ECW and I believe was it just ECW or WCW?
What are you talking about?
Like Paul's history with the Steiners, was it just ECW,
Oh, is
WCW?
this WCW two as well? Yeah.
Right, right. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Um, and yeah, just the main event scene in general, and also on SmackDown as well. Like this, like we talked about it last week, the Cena Orton thing. Like it's there to draw tickets, and
Right.
it's there as an attraction, but it's not going to be a great match at all. Like I have a feeling there might even be some fuckery in the match.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, just the mid card scene on both shows, I'm more invested in.
Yeah. I can see that.
I thought JD and Penta had a great match on Monday.
Oh yeah. They're two phenomenal pro wrestlers, so absolutely.
Yeah, JD again. I've always thought JD was very good, even when he was Jordan Devlin, in NXT. And Penta's Penta. Penta's doing Penta things. And if anyone didn't notice, was it the guitarist from Tool is doing Penta's theme song. So for any metalheads out there, um,
Never listened to I never listened to a Tool song. I may have heard one, but I don't know that it's actually Tool.
I'm almost positive you might have heard a song, you just didn't know it was them.
Probably.
Um, and just the women are carrying the show. Even CM Punk, CM Punk said it best. The women are carrying Raw. EO, I think you can make a case for her maybe being female wrestler of the year.
Making that case. She's by far female wrestler of the year so far. Still got 7 months to go, but the first 5 months in, yeah, for sure.
Right. Her and Roxy had a great match.
Absolutely.
I like how they're building up Roxy. They obviously think something of her. I mean, the fans like her. I mean, she's getting a reaction whenever she comes out. And I mean, it's funny because like usually on like the day of of our shows, I always like to kind of like, this is gonna sound kind of weird. I like to kind of prep in my head of what I'm gonna say, and how it comes out, and just kind of think of things we can possibly touch base with on the show. With someone like Roxy, I kind of thought about this. So like usually whenever they push someone, like over push someone, the fans are usually the deciding factor of like we like this person or we don't like them. Or we can see right through them and we don't buy it for a second. With someone like a Roxy, they've kind of been over pushing her a little bit, but it works because the fans can buy it because she's talented as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, at the Royal Rumble when she was, the Iron Woman and she was, in the final two with her and Charlotte, the fans, were like, holy shit, who's this girl? Who's this small girl who's able to go toe to toe with fucking Charlotte? And, lately when she's been on Raw, she's been getting reactions because she has personality. She's not terrible on the mic. She can obviously use a little work, but she backs it up with her in-ring style. The only thing, eventually, I think they're gonna have to turn her face. Because it's just I have a problem with her heel work. It's just it kind of comes across as like an actress trying to play a villain role. Like I just don't buy it sometimes. It's like Wesley. Like Wesley, him trying to be a heel, I just don't buy it because he just seems like a nice guy. And again, I know it's wrestling. I know they're supposed to play a role, blah blah blah. But it's just there's certain people that are so good at being heels that you're like, I wonder if they're actually a dick in real life. Whereas like like an Adam Cole was trying to be this cocky heel. It's like, come on, you're a nice guy. Stop. Like you're not a heel, please. Wesley. Go back to Wesley. Wesley just needs to be a
I
face.
disagree with Adam Cole. I didn't really like him as a babyface. I like him more as a heel.
Right. Again, just agree to disagree. But and I was just saying about Wesley when I was watching NXT. I mean, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but like It's like when I was watching NXT and Wesley had his like interactions with Zach. I'm just like, just put MSK back together. Again, I know Zach's in TNA, but I mean, you have the partnership. Just make it work. Have him be MSK again. Like I think that's what the people want to see. I also don't think anyone wants to boo Wes, but that's just those are kind of my 2 cents about things I appreciated, in the current week of wrestling. What about you?
Want to talk about this WWE AAA acquisition and some new contracts of people who were signed. So I'm gonna go through some of the names here, and you're probably not gonna know most of these folks, but there's one particular name here, Alberto Del Rio, that I wanted to go in detail about. But so wrestlers from AAA that have already signed contracts with WWE. Heel del I can't talk today. Heel did Dr. Wagner. He was supposed to be signed last year sometime, and I mean, I don't know if this, he finally gets signed to WWE, but I'm not too sure if it was one of the things where it was like, oh, we're gonna we're gonna end up buying you guys anyway, so we're gonna we're just gonna sign you later on. So the Kingo, La Parka, not the La Parka from WCW, but another La Parka, not LA Park, but another La Parka.
Right.
La Hydra, Lady Flammer, Lady Maravilla, and Nino Hamburgusa, and obviously Alberto Del Rio. So yeah, all these names are signed, to WWE officially. Alberto Del Rio. There's people who online, you know, saying that Alberto Del Rio shouldn't be signed with WWE, and they let go, they let go Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, and Cora Jade to sign Alberto Del Rio. But before we get into anybody else, just give me your thoughts, Drew. What do you think about the signings of these wrestlers, particularly Alberto Del Rio?
I don't want Alberto Del Rio in WWE. Again, the guy has been proven to be more trouble than he's worth. And just again, I think a big kind of topic or not even a topic, I guess like the term of the day that you're probably going to hear in the show is, fake IWC outrage. And in this case, it's not so much the IWC, it's so was it Lucha Libre Online? They put out some very lengthy Instagram post, which I'm not going to read, but the gist of it is the guy, whoever it is, saying, Alberto Del Rio deserves a second chance in WWE. It's like, okay, he actually did get a second chance, and he
Yeah, he
fucked up
got a
on
second
that.
chance. Yeah.
And he's gotten multiple chances everywhere else. And I've always been gung ho on like people should get a second chance if they can show that they've changed. In this case, this guy has gotten multiple chances. So, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And again, for all I know, maybe he's like a good Christian man that's born again and blah blah blah. But I don't want this guy. I don't like. I have zero interest in seeing anything that he can do on television. I mean, didn't he just get in trouble like a
So
few
let me
months
ask.
ago?
Let me. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but let me ask this, or let me comment on this. These guys that are being signed are not showing up on SmackDown or Raw or anything like that. They're signed.
Right,
They're signed to WWE because it's through AAA and he's the mega champion right now.
right. But eventually, I think they probably will at some point.
So let me ask this other question. If he's only going to be down in AAA and let's say 10% of us, 15% of us may actually try to watch it, because how do you watch AAA right now? Do you know?
I'm assuming some kind of streaming service that I've never heard of.
So yeah, it's a streaming services, right? But if he's not gonna be on regular WWE TV monthly, or I'm sorry, weekly or whatever, then who cares?
Right, but again, I say this mainly because he's a name and he's a recognizable name.
But if he's
'Cause-
not gonna be on SmackDown or Raw or even NXT Weekly, like, what does it matter?
I get what you mean, but it's just like there's going to be a possibility because you saw Vikingo at Mania. I mean, who's to say he can't get involved, with the current storyline with
They're
Chad
not.
Gable?
I don't think they're gonna do that for. I don't think they're gonna put fucking Alberto Del Rio on fucking SummerSlam.
I'm not saying SummerSlam, maybe NXT at best.
Okay, they're gonna have to build. They're gonna have to build the show. He's gonna be on NXT, but they're gonna have to build the show for this. It's given. He's gonna be on that show.
Right.
So here's my thing. I'm not a huge fan of Roberto Del Rio. Never have, never will. I'm saying this. I want everybody who's listening to this right now, where if it's live, where if it's after the fact, I prefer him not to be in WWE or signed to a contract. I'm saying that right now. But is it really bothering you that he is signed to a contract? It doesn't bother me. Not as much as everyone else. Now, I get it. You got other wrestlers that got let go, this, that, and the other. I'm thinking that the budget for the main roster is different from the budget for NXT and AAA.
Right.
I don't think they use that same talent pool bucket. I'm more than sure they have different budget buckets for the shows. I believe they have an NXT bucket, they have a Evolve bucket, they have a LFG bucket, they have a AAA bucket now. So I don't think you can compare like, oh, Alberto Rio is signed, but you let go of Dakota Kai. You can't correlate the two.
Right.
Because what Dakota Kai's getting paid is going to be far fucking less than what Alberto Del Rio is getting paid. Let's say Dakota Kai was getting paid, $750,000 a year, right? And let's say they're giving Alberto Del Rio $100K. It's a lot cheaper to sign Alberto Del Rio, who's not going to be on, American TV that often, and have him be down there in AAA, where you're not going to see him. You're not going to care about what the fuck he does down there. He's going to be mad because he's got another WWE and stuff like that. Yeah, if they start using Alberto Del Rio on TV on SmackDown and Raw and put him up, okay, fair. That's fair. We have a reason to gripe at that point. If you're gonna show it in NXT every now and then, once a couple, few months rather, right? Just build towards the show, and this and the other. It doesn't bother me to that effect. It doesn't bother me. So, but he signed Alberto Del Rio, and also as well, this comes from Ernesto. I'm sorry, Ernest. What is Ernest in Spanish? But Ernesto Ocampo. Who is on Twitter, comes from him that the wrestlers from AAA with new contracts from WWE will be part of the roster that will wrestle in Mexico. Very few of them, like Vikingo, Wagner, La Parca, could appear and join events with WWE NXT in the United States. So, just because, again, and I just brought this point up, just because they're signed does not mean they are, going to be on NXT permanently or going to be on main roster permanently. Who knows? We may never seen on NXT. Then the argument's going to be more relevant at the point because, but again, I see it from both sides because, you go of such time, the real again, the real cheaper. You can sign, 7 reels, which is a fucking scary sign for Dakota Kai. You know what I mean? So these guys they're making more like they're ever, and WWE is paying them shit. Think about that for a second, right?
Yeah.
So it is there to a roster and also as well. You gotta think about it like this too as well. Alberto Del Rio is the biggest star down there. Well, the second star down there in Mexico. Can we name anybody else outside of those two major stars there? that we know about? No, we
No.
can't. Not at all. And WWE's business at the end of the day, they need to put asses in seats because I'm pretty sure that they're not actually start touring the United States and predominantly Hispanic markets. That's why they're going to LA. I see them coming here in San Antonio, El Paso, the Rio Grande Valley. You know, anywhere in the Southwest United States, I can definitely see them going there. Some in Florida as well. You know what I mean? So to me, this is more of a chess move from WWE. Again, I don't have to agree with it. I'd rather not have him here, but from a business aspect, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, but who knows? Maybe it's a 6-month contract. Maybe he holds until he just drops the title to someone like Vikingo or La Parka or someone like that. Who knows too as well? We don't know how long these contracts are. I guarantee this is not a fucking 5-year deal or anything like that. And on top of that as well, if you put Alberto Del Rio on TV, he's always been a serviceable wrestler, not a fantastic great wrestler, but he can still go in the ring. I saw some highlights of it. I don't know if you knew this, Drew, but he was here in San Antonio wrestling for RCW as a surprise appearance a couple weeks ago for their RCW Mania. So he was here a couple weeks ago, Alberto Del Rio, and the highlights I saw of him, he was still wrestling like Alberto Del Rio, still looked pretty well.
Doesn't he live in Does he live in San Antonio?
I'm not 100% sure if he still lives here or not. I think he still has a residence. I think he still has a residence here for sure. I'm more sure he still has family in some aspect, but I don't know if he fully lives here because he's wrestling for AAA. So I'm pretty sure his current residence is in Mexico. So
right. All right.
Any other thoughts about the AAA signings or Alberto Del Rio before we continue?
I got nothing.
Okay.
All right, so let's get started with the first big topic. So last Friday, actually, I believe it was last Thursday, WWE started releasing people. They actually started with people on creative.
Right. They started with the production side.
Right. And as per, spring cleaning, which, they've been doing since, pretty much forever. They usually do this right after Mania. So yeah, last Friday was when wrestling talent started getting released. So I'm gonna start with the main roster and NXT. So I'm gonna start with the main roster real quick. So the first one, Dakota Kai. Thoughts?
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna start it up like that. Injury prone. I like Dakota Kai, but she was injured. Like a lot of these, like I'm just gonna say this. Like I'm not gonna go name by name. We're just gonna go straight in. The people who got released: Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, and even Jakara Jackson, which I don't really agree with. But those names right there: Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman. They were all injury prone. They were a high risk at the end of the day. These guys were like, for example, how many times have I said, "Fucking Braun Strowman's knees looks fucking knackered," right? Yeah, I've said that many times for many months, right? Nothing against Braun Strowman. I will say this: his second run in WWE was very serviceable. He had great monster ball matches, whatever the fuck you want to call them. He had great matches, right? But what are you going to do with a Braun Strowman whose knees are fucked up and he's getting close to, I don't know if he's 40 already, he's getting close to 40. What the fuck are you going to do with a Braun Strowman at this point in time?
Nothing.
You can't. There's nothing you can do with them. There's nothing you can do with them at this particular point in time. Dakota Kai, now, I will say this. I think that she didn't really get a 1,000% fair shake. She was in the finals for the Intercontinental Championship, right? She lost, right? And WWE did nothing with her after that. Ever since Damage Control broke up, they didn't do shit with her. They didn't really try to push her and really try to do anything with her. So WWE has to blame for this shit as well, right? She's 37 years old. She's on the well back end of her career as far as being in ring. I hope she goes somewhere. I hope that that she thrives on wherever she goes, right? But I see why WWE let her go. Injury prone, many injuries, concussions, things of that nature. I like Dakota Kai. I think she's
Right.
great. But
Yeah, me too.
but it's a business at the end of the day. It's a business at the end of the day. Shayna Baszler, she's old. Point blank. Period. She's old. What is she, like 45 years old, about to be 45, coming up here? She looks great in the ring, but what the fuck are you gonna do with a 45-year-old Shayna Baszler that you haven't pushed since she bit Becky Lynch's neck in the fucking
She's 44.
all right, well, 44, 45. She's okay. Sure, a couple months off, whatever. But I think that with her, you didn't do shit with her since she bit fucking Becky Lynch's neck during the fucking Thunderdome era. That's number one. But also number two, you have her beat Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. Then what you do with her after that? Nothing happened. So
Nope.
Shayna Baszler, I hope that I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with Shayna Baszler or what she's gonna do. Maybe she goes to AEW and I don't know, joins Death Riders. I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's on that.
Oh God, no. Well, I mean, most of the people on the show, like, on these releases, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. A majority of them were either injury prone, didn't get reactions, and I mean, let's just call it like it is. I mean, the majority of everyone on this list, aside from Braun, because Braun still got a reaction because he looked like a killer. Nobody really got reactions.
What is that though?
True. I mean, you can point fingers at multiple people.
It goes both ways. It's the talent's fault, but it's also Crib's fault too.
Right. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm sorry. Kaden Carter and Katan Chance, they're fucking dynamic wrestlers in the ring. They got let go. The only tag team in this whole fucking company, number one. But also, number two, get rid of the fucking tag team titles.
Agreed.
If you're not going to do shit with them, get rid of them. You got Liv Morgan, who deserves, a movie role. She deserves time off. But get rid of the tag team titles, vacate them, do something with them. It's dumb. You gave them the titles, right? Again, I will say this, they didn't get a reaction, but again, it goes both ways to create something dynamic for them, and they didn't do that with them. They just had them backstage commingling with the other women. Cora Jade, another fucking woman that, with her, I will say this. She, A, is injury prone, but B, she didn't really improve.
Agreed. Thank you.
She didn't really improve in the ring, right? So I get that, but also on top of that as well, she's young. She's 24 years old.
Right.
I think giving up on her, I think they gave up on her a little bit too soon. I think they want to. You kept JC Jane. I know you love JC Jane, but Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, to me, they're all the same fucking woman. I mean, they're all the same woman to me. Like they have sex appeal, right? They have a look, all three women, right? They have a look, but basic bitches in the ring. I'm not calling them bitches, but they're basic bitches in the ring. There's nothing special about them. You can't tell me a great. Well, I'll take that back. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane did have one great match. That street fight.
Right.
The other one that was on NXT. So I take that back. But outside of that, you can't name me a great Cora J match. You can't name me a great Gigi Dolan match. You can't name me a great JC J match.
Well, let me kind of add on to what add on and also kind of go against what you're saying. So, like, I get what you mean as far as, like, somewhat bland. Well, not even really somewhat, but blandness in the ring, because, like, Cora had been on that brand for 4 years.
Right.
Back when it was 2.0, and they really wanted to push this girl, like, right off the bat, and I never got. I mean, I kind of got it, because it's like, okay, she's cute, she can appeal to young girls and young boys.
She can talk. She can cut a promo. That's one thing I can. That's one thing I can say about Cora Jade. She can cut a promo. Not fantastic, but she can do it. She can do it better than some of the other women that's still down in NXT that still have a job.
When she would talk, it sounded like she was in a room of 50 people rather than speaking in a room of 300 people. That's
What
just
does that
kind of how I
mean?
viewed it. Meaning it didn't really feel like she had a lot of confidence when she spoke. But that, again,
Do you think Cora Jade is confident or not when she speaks?
no.
I know we got only like 3 people here, but if you're here, does she have confidence when she speaks? Because I think she can talk. Not like fantastic, great talker, but I think she can get her point across in a promo and she sounds confident coming across.
Again, just my opinion. Agree to disagree. But I think what JC has over Gigi and Cora is that JC can work and she can talk. Gigi, they tried to make
Name me one great, or not even great. Name me one good JCJ match.
I don't really need to because she hasn't really had a great match, but she can work.
Well, so how you know she's a good worker than these other women are not?
I mean, every match I've seen her in, she can work. Gigi, they tried to make her into a single star and it didn't work because
makes her a good worker?
she knows how to have a match. She's a good
What does that
ring
mean?
technician in the ring. Meaning she knows how to have a good match.
So you can't give me an example of something that she's actually done great. I personally think, this is me personally, I think that Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, I like Carmen Petrovic, I really do.
Yeah.
But Carmen, I throw her in there too. Carmen Petrovic, Izzy, they're all the same shit. They got some very differences and unique things about them, but at the end of the day, they can't actually work, and I don't see improvement from any of these ladies.
All right. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of them on that show that need at least one more year, and if they can't show improvement the next year, I think you should maybe just release some of them.
I agree. I hate to see people lose their jobs, but I'm
Right.
just speaking of. I hate to see them lose jobs, but I'm just speaking about why WWE, in my opinion, let them go. And really, to me, I think look, I'll be honest. I think it's more than Cora J's work. I think it's possibly, I won't say her attitude per se, because I haven't really heard any really attitude problems from her.
I did.
But she's had what's the word I'm looking for? She's had like some cryptic like tweets and things of that nature. And obviously, like I say, injuries as well. Injuries as well.
Right.
But again, if I were Shawn Michaels and team, because I don't think Shawn Michaels probably want to let her go. I think this is more of like a TKO's decision, maybe even above Triple H. But I personally think if I was making a decision, I would give her 6 more months, try to do something with her, because you let Cora Jade go. Well, I'm sorry, you let what's this fucking face go? Easy. Oh, Eddie Thorpe. You let Eddie Thorpe go, who you put him in a fucking NXT main event championship match, a couple pay-per-views ago, and you push him and you give him an opportunity, but you never really fully gave the opportunity to Cora Jade. I just feel that's kind of bullshit.
I will say, and before I'm just gonna say this before we get back to the list. It's just some of these firings were weird because you just brought up Eddie Thorpe. Like Eddie Thorpe, they were pushing him, like really pushing him, and then he loses the match against Trick, and then suddenly he's off television. Gigi was just on television with Tatum,
Yeah.
and they're in that tag team, and I liked the tag team with her and Tatum. I thought it was, I thought they complemented each other well, and Gigi was popular. I'll save my thoughts on Gigi when we get to her. But yeah, it's just some of these firings are weird because it's just like they were literally just on television. And you got the impression of like, oh, are they going to do something later on? It's like, no, they're gone. It's like, okay.
You were right about Jakara Jackson. I was like, oh, no, maybe they're still a tag team. I was completely wrong about that.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think that one surprised me the most. The reason why is because she did get injured, but I feel that she just started wrestling 3 years ago or 4 years ago, however long it was. Like, she didn't wrestle before WWE. She had a tryout in Las Vegas at SummerSlam weekend, I believe it was, and she got picked up by WWE. Now, again, 4 years, right? I mean, you look at someone like a Tiffany Stratton, right? You look at someone like a even like the Last Legend, who at first was kind of a eyesore. Now, I won't say she's like fantastic or anything, but she's gotten better. I really don't think they really gave Jakar that opportunity to really stand out on her own.
Right. Right. And just to kind of preface this before we get back to the list, Zack Ryder said it best, getting fired from WWE isn't the end of the world. Like, sometimes that could be the best thing in the world to happen to you.
Absolutely.
I mean, best example, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre got fired, left once got better in the ring and got bigger. And then came back and looked, no, Cody get fired after it. Like, not a good example. And McCard, same thing. McCard is like, was the highest paid on the Indies. So,
by far,
who else? One of the guys and girls on this list could maybe Drew McIntyre or Cardona or Cody. So you never know.
Everybody on this list, right? Everybody on this list. Who do you think is going to be that wrestler that has the biggest chance to come back to WWE and not necessarily be on the the Cody McIntyre level, but come back and maybe like a Chelsea Green level, right? Come back over and is a great MIDCARD. That's gonna be on the show. Yeah, pick it. It doesn't have to be William, but you can be anybody.
I have two.
Yeah.
That are on my mind. And one of them you might be surprised, me. But one of them is Oliver Brennan. Because he's not going to have a very unique look. You got fair shot. So I think he kind of leaves like on Packer. Back to Jan or he's the or keeps him back. And he's thinking everything is a be something. No, just Bora. I think her and both are things better. She can connect. I mean, everyone on this list, they didn't do the fuck WWE, tweet. They actually were very, they're obviously very grateful for their time and all that. Let's be real. All these people probably wouldn't get noticed if they were in WWE. So you can definitely use the leverage to, go to AEW and make more money than ever I would like for a big impact to go to Penn or that. I thought those are right. What about you?
I'll award it. And maybe Riley Osborne. I think Riley, he was very athletic in the ring. I don't really think obviously he was in Chase U as well. I thought they were going to keep him, and I thought he was pretty solid what he did. And letting him go, I think was kind of I will say kind of a mistake. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. So, but I mean, you're saying there's no one that did the fuck WWE thing. I mean, they can't. They're on a 90-day no compete. So they can't really do anything and slander WWE until that 90-day no compete. I will say this: there are going to be tweets, there are going to be conversations about how they felt in WWE because even Cora, she said that she was body shamed or something like that, whatever it was, right?
All right. I
guarantee you that the people who currently love themselves some Gigi Dolan and Eddie Thorpe and Jakar Jackson or whoever, when they speak their mind about their experience in WWE, is gonna be like, oh no, well, fuck them. Oh my god, how can I say that about WWE? Or oh my god, years back because you didn't get over. Those conversations are gonna come out, and which I think is gonna be one or the other. Like either you be there, you support them, or just be like, you know what, fuck you, you left. Who gives a shit?
Right.
You can't be flip flopping fans out there, which I've been seeing over the last week, which is really pissing me off more than ever before. So,
And also a side note, NXT wrestlers they only got 30 days. Main roster
right, that's
got 90
correct.
days.
Yes, that's
Because
correct.
Gigi Dolan put up, after 30 days, accept bookings, and she
Yeah.
still
So everyone
she
in
has a Yahoo
NXT,
Mail
yeah,
account, which is funny.
she has what?
She still has a Yahoo account, which I think is kind of
Good,
funny.
good for her.
Um, and whatchamacallit, Cora Jade is now going by Atlanta Black, which is her indie name, and now she has an OnlyFans account, which starts in June, which is one of 30 days.
I saw that, and I saw someone was like, oh, that was quick. I'm like, bro, how did you fucking find that shit? That's fucking creepy as fuck.
I'm not judging. I mean, I'm not judging for one thing if she has an OnlyFans.
No, I'm not talking about her as an OnlyFans. I'm talking about the guy that found it because I don't think she advertised it. No.
I mean, my best guess is no.
So that's what I'm saying. How did you find that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
super fucking weird, bro.
wheels in the air. But yeah, let's go back to this. So Dakota Kai, we talked about how he kind of said everything he'd be said. Yeah, I like Dakota. I like her. She's talented. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, I think she got chances, but at the same time, I don't think she got enough. Because like she was in an intercontinental title tournament, and she had two matches. Right. She had two straight matches against what's her name, Lyra, where it was in the finals, and then she ended up having a rematch, which both matches ended up being very good. And that was kind of my thought process, of like, oh, they're gonna do something with her, and then she was just off TV, and the week before her release, she was like, she posted a picture of her in curls, which I'm like, that's weird. I mean, again, not judging look, not saying she's ugly or anything, but like, I'm like, that's kind of a weird look. And then she was like saying, "Hey guys, I'm not injured. It's not being used." Uh-huh. But again, I think she can get a job anywhere. I know AEW is looking at her, and I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's play a game. Let's
Oh.
guess where they go next.
Here's the thing: she can go to AEW and make more money than she's ever made in her life.
No, I'm thinking about like all the names that got released.
Okay, like after we go by each name, or just
wherever you want to do.
Yeah, I think we should just do it after we just talk about each name. So Dakota, I'm gonna assume AEW. What about you?
Yeah, I'll probably say AEW, even though I don't think she'll be well over there.
I mean, Impact needs all the help they can get with their women's. She'd be great in Impact or TNA. I mean, Braun Strowman. Again, you said it best. His second run I thought was pretty good. I mean, because he had some pretty fun matches and segments with Bronson Reed and Big Fight too. But again, he's he's 40. He's over 40, and his knees are shit. Like whenever he was doing his choo-choo bit, it was bad. Like it was a bad look, and I can't even. And I felt bad for the guy. Like the guy was obviously in pain doing that. But again, it's just like, what else do you do with them? Like I would put almost as part of being your big, your big guy. Whatever they decide to do some of them, but sort.
I'll say this: there's no more big guys in wrestling.
No,
there's more giants. I should say giants. The land of the giants is basically no more in modern day wrestling.
Right. You're absolutely right. Where Braun Strowman goes, I mean, go to AEW, but do what? Like, I I wouldn't be surprised if Braun just decides to say, "Hey, I'm done with wrestling. I make my money. Maybe go to Hollywood. Maybe like be in movies. Like I don't know. Like what do you think?"
He is going to be doing the convention circuit, and he's going to be doing that, signing autographs, things of that nature, getting called in for appearances.
Okay.
He's
I mean,
not
maybe
wrestling.
right. Okay. Shayna Baszler again. You just brought it up. 44 years old. Again, I like Shayna. I've always liked Shayna. I think she was kind of a victim of circumstance. Because she was a killer in NXT. Gets brought up to the main roster, and Vince just kind of goes, no. Because the story was that Becky wanted to put her over at Mania, but Vince said no. And again, just the harsh truth is just because Shayna is not, visually appealing. It's always going to be about who's visually appealing, and Shayna didn't fit that WWE mold, and I think she just lost a lot of momentum since then. So, where she goes from here, again, a lot of these people, I wouldn't be surprised if they show up on AEW, but it's just like they're probably never going to get used. They're going to make a lot of money, but they're not going to get used.
Do you think she cares about to be 45 years old?
I mean, good point. I mean, personally, I'd rather see her go
Would
to
you care? Would you care? I wouldn't care. I'd be like, fuck it, I'll make my money. Fuck it.
fuck it. Like with the debt that I owe, I want that AEW paycheck where I get paid to just exist.
If Tony Khan were to DM you right now and be like, hey, I heard your podcast. I know that you're against AEW, but if you go right now on your Twitter and say, AEW is great, John Moxley is great, I will sign you for a $100,000 contract. Would you do it?
Yes.
Good old American dollar.
Exactly. You will hear me. If I
I'll
gotta say something,
be like, Drew, are you okay? Yes, I am. I love John Moxley.
I think John Moxley is the next Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He's better than fucking Ric Flair. He's better than fucking Gunther. He's better than just you start naming all these names like.
And then I'm just slitting my wrist during every show. No, yeah. Again, it's all about the mighty dollar. I mean, again, for some, I like Shayna. I'd rather see her go to TNA and just be used there. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. So follow the money. But do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. Katana Chance and Caden Carter again. They were probably the only actual tag team in that women's tag team division, and just these women tag team titles are a joke. They've always been a joke. Just get rid of them. No one cares. No one cares at all. All right, so NXT. Oh yeah, and Shotzi Blackheart. She was not released. She was just told her contract will not be renewed. She's kind of had, I guess, feelers from other companies. I know she kind of hinted that she wants to go to GCW and have a death match with Nick Gage, which I'm like, okay.
Oh, cool. I'd like to see that.
I know your girl Mercedes has been kind of putting out feelers that she wants her in AEW. So yeah, again, I like Shotzi. I was always like gung ho on Shotzi because I'm like she could have been someone that you could have marketed as like your next Lita because she had a unique look. She was hot. She had a very likable personality. I was always surprised that WWE never like made any like toy tanks. Probably it's because like the tank represented her brother, like because her brother was in the army, I think. But I don't know. Like I was always like, oh, she could have been marketable. But
You want to
then,
know how much those things would? Those things would have been like $200-$300, man. No one's gonna buy that.
right? I don't know.
People
Whatever.
barely have fucking $20 to spend at my shop. Like, they ain't gonna spend no fucking $300 for a fucking tank.
Oh, but yeah, she's gonna be out pretty soon. Where do you think she goes?
Impact.
Good choice. All right, NXT. Cora Jade, we talked about. I mentioned, she could possibly be someone that if she gets better, she could come back to WWE and maybe be better than she ever was. I'm gonna say indies, not any specific indies, but just indies in general. Maybe go work overseas. Maybe get that AEW payday. I don't know. We'll see. But what do you think?
TNA.
Yeah, that's a good choice too. Again, TNA needs to bolster their women's division, so I'd be interested to see some of these women there. Gigi Dolan. Again, I mentioned surprised because she was doing something, at least in NXT. Like, I think what Gigi Dolan is in that Toxic Attraction group. Obviously, Mandy was billed as the star, and rightly so. JC, just, I'm biased because I love JC. I thought JC was the better worker. Gigi obviously had a very unique look that appealed to a lot of people. They gave her a singles run, and it kind of exposed her as being someone who's not that great in the ring. Um, and JC, as much as I think she's a really good worker, she's also somebody kind of like a Gigi where they work better when they have somebody to play off of instead of just working on their own. Like with Gigi, after Toxic Attraction, they put her in the thing with Ariana, which I actually thought was kind of funny. Because it was the odd couple bit of Ariana trying to be, the straight one and Gigi being the over the top, funny one. And then Gigi got hurt. Then she came back and, they teamed her up with Tatum, which I thought that was a good team. I guess the silver lining of this is Tatum can go back to being a single star, which I thought she was doing a pretty good job so far whenever she was doing her single stuff. As far as where Gigi goes, I actually learned something about AEW. She apparently has a restraining order against Darby Allin.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Mish on Wrestling Soup brought it up. So she ain't going to AEW, that's for sure. So I'm gonna say Impact.
She's going to TNA to be with her husband, fiance, Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, I keep saying Impact. It's TNA, but yeah, she's going to TNA. Eddie Thorpe, um, a guy that I didn't mind, but he wasn't someone that like lit my world on fire. Like he was somebody where I'm like, okay, he's unique in some way. They really gave this guy a lot, and he just lost that match against Strick, and all of a sudden he was off television. So, and I know the last time there was a bunch of releases when it was you, me, and RJ. I believe Ruben might have been on as well, where we brought up like certain releases. Like one of them was Fabian, not Fabian. Who's the dude that just got released from? That used to be in Imperium.
Baby Eichner.
Fabian Eichner. That usually whenever someone just gets buried the way he did, and he just gets released like almost instantaneously, you can maybe suspect that he was a dick behind the scenes, like he pissed somebody off. In this case with Eddie Thorpe, I don't know. Do you think that might have been the case that maybe he just pissed off people in the back?
Possibly, but we don't know for sure. I don't want to speculate.
Right. All right, but yeah, Eddie Thorpe. I'm gonna guess AEW.
New Japan.
All
He's
right.
going back to New Japan.
All right. Jakara Jackson. Shocking because mainly because on Tuesday, Metaphor broke up or last Tuesday, I mean, Metaphor broke up, and I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna push Lash as a singles, which makes sense because she looks like something. Jakara, I don't. It's weird because I would always see Jakara's stuff when she was teaming up with Lash. I don't really recall seeing any of her single stuff because I think she was hurt most of the time. Um, yeah, this was kind of surprising because you kind of seemed like they were gonna push her or just give her like a singles run, and obviously that wasn't the case. But um, uh, I don't know where she goes. Maybe AEW, I'm assuming, but I don't know.
I don't think she's going to be in wrestling for. If she is, I think she's gonna be straight indies.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. What is there to do in AEW?
Yeah, you're right.
What kind of affiliation or history does she has with anyone in AEW?
I again, it's just one of those assumptions of like, she can go there and make money. But
With what? No, somebody can't bring her. She can't wrestle to that level of any other women in that division. So maybe Ring of Honor, but AEW proper, no,
right.
not at all.
All
You
right.
can't if you can't put if I know you don't like her, but if you can't find a spot for fucking Athena, what what are you gonna do with Jakar Jackson? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, good point. Uh Riley Osborne. Um I remember being high on him. Like whenever he was in Chase U, I'm like, oh, this guy has something. Like he's pretty talented. I think he was on Evolve, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's gone. So TNA.
Think he goes back. I think he's gonna go overseas, maybe back into maybe Europe,
Right.
maybe probably the European indie scene. And not everyone can go to AEW or TNA.
Right.
Like there has to be some type of, you know,
Right.
there's gonna be people who are not gonna make it there. I don't see him making it there. If he does, great, because I think it'd be great for TNA. But there's only some people that can go there.
Yeah, you're right. Oral Mensa, like Jakara Jackson, split up from Metaphor last Tuesday, and now he's gone. Did not know he's been wrestling for 15 years. Um, I guess he's gonna stick to indies because again, he was a decent wrestler, but like, what can he add to AEW? Maybe do something in TNA. I don't know, but I think he's gonna stick to indies.
European indies.
All right. Javier Burnell. I said it, previously. I think he's somebody that had an interesting look to him. Um, I think if he goes to the Indies, maybe goes overseas, he can, get better and maybe come back as, something in the WWE, whatever that something is. I'm not sure. Maybe Intercontinental Champion, maybe World Champion. You never know. But what about you?
Wherever Dakota Kai goes, and no, that's Eddie Thorpe. Because Eddie
Yeah,
Thorpe and Dakota Kai's dating. He's dating Tam Paxley. Oh no,
married.
he'll stay in Florida. He'll stay in Florida, do indies there.
But yeah, him and Tatum are married, and I forgot Dakota and Eddie Thorpe are
Yeah.
together. But uh,
Yeah, he's gonna stay in the southeastern United States and do indies.
right. Gallus, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang. Um, I don't really know what's that. I'm gonna assume, European Indies. Maybe get that AEW
Yep.
paycheck.
Nope.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can't really add too much to it. I know RJ was pretty high on him. I was never really the biggest fan of Gallus.
I
I
like
know
Gallus.
they
I like Gallus, but I see why they release.
right. I was kind of surprised they never got brought up as like a faction with maybe like Drew McIntyre, for example. But yeah, European Indies.
Yeah. Yeah, you and thousands of other people are wearing that same thing.
Right. But do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Lastly is Danny Palmer. I literally just remember one match he had, and that was the breakout tournament for NXT back in I think 2023. And I just remember going, "Oh, she has a nice look. She's actually not that terrible." And I never saw her again. So, um, I'm gonna, I know she's married to one of the Hank and Tank guys. I forget which one, but I'll be honest. I don't even think she's gonna wrestle anymore. She might even just like say peace out to wrestling and just maybe like open up a
What gives you
business.
that idea?
Well, it's just like what can she add to
Well,
other
I mean,
companies?
have you seen on? Do you know any of her credentials prior to WWE?
I mean, she's an athlete, I'm gonna assume.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah. She's an athlete, but
Well,
you know,
I mean, like maybe.
I mean, just saying that you think she's like, no, just fuck wrestling.
Well, I mean, like a lot of these people probably just got into wrestling because they thought it was fun, and now that they're done with it, they're like, okay, where else do I want to go? Like, what else do I want to do?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, again, it's not me saying, "Oh, fuck these people." It's more just like, I mean, maybe they just don't want to be in wrestling anymore.
Okay.
Actually,
Maybe
you
you're
know
right.
what?
Maybe you're right.
And I have confirmation right here. On May the 3rd, Palmer announced that she has been released by WWE as well as her retirement from professional wrestling.
Okay. There you go.
So,
You're right.
right. So, I mean, again, she's probably just wants to start her profession and live a, normal life. So, or maybe she wants to have a family with um chat, help me out. Who's she married to? Hank or Tank?
I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with all these relationships.
Again, maybe she just wants to like settle down and have a family. So,
good for her. I mean, if she found peace, then good for her. So
yeah, like, good for her. But again, for all the people that got released, there's always a life outside of WWE and wrestling in general. So, here's to happy times. Here's to hopefully finding your place in wrestling as well as life. So, do you have anything else to add to that, Justin?
nah, I think we went way beyond of talking about this. I just hope that everyone gets back on their feet.
Yeah, same here. All right. As for SmackDown that day, didn't watch it. I was kind of doing something else at the moment. I know Randy cut a promo on Cena. I know Oscar Black had a match against Miz. What else happened? And that's really about it. Oh yeah, Jade powerbomb Nia in a match. It's really the gist of it. Do you have anything to add to SmackDown?
Just skip SmackDown. It's a terrible fucking show.
As of June 6th, it will be going back to 2 hours. So, yippee. All right. WWE Raw. Let's talk about some Raw. Raw. What's it on? Oh, it was in Nebraska. It was in Omaha, Nebraska. Pretty good show. Raw was actually pretty good on Monday. I don't really have too many complaints about Raw.
It was a good show.
I brought up the Jey Uso thing with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman doing the thing that heels do that I'm not crazy about, which is be right about everything. Like he brings up, like he comes in the ring and Jey Uso's like, you got a lot of balls coming to this ring after what you did to my family. And Paul's like, I don't think you should be talking to me about betraying your family. And then he brings up, Roman Reigns, that Roman Reigns lost, his match against Cody, and then just left me here with Solo and Jacob. And, Solo and Jacob took me out on Madison Square Garden. And Roman never came back after that. But he came back to get his Eulafala. And, just he's like, screw Roman Reigns and, screw all of you and blah, blah, blah. And then he tells Jay that, part 2 of, Seth Rollins' plan is being the world champion. So Seth Rollins wanted me to tell you any time, any place. And that's when Jay Uso says, tonight, uh, 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. So that was the match. And then when he gets to the back, Paul Heyman tells Seth, he fell for it. And then yada, yada, yada. So that would end up being the main event, which is Jey Uso and Seth Rollins, which I kind of figured where it was going to go. It just kind of went slightly different. But yeah, Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. I mean, the match wasn't terrible. It was actually it was a pretty fun match overall. Which ended with a lot of interference by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn came out, and then CM Punk came out. And the match, I didn't hear a bell ring, so I can't really say disqualification, but the match just ended with no winner. It was a no contest, I guess if you want to call it that. But that's what I'm assuming is going to be one of the main events for Saturday's main event later on this month. CM Punk and Zayn versus Seth Rollins, which should be a fun match. I was kind of expecting Roman to come back. I guess they're going to see that later.
Wait,
yeah, you do. And after the show, not the air, Logan Paul came out and good, yeah, knockout. So that's another match.
That was a hell of a fucking haymaker and from Paul Helps from James.
Yeah, I'll get you right. Shade bullshit on that. But that could be that's looking to be one of the Saturday night events. Matches. I was kind of thinking it's going to be added backlash. I think okay, 7 point Randy and John. I
don't said that like that like oh Jay, I thought he was gonna lose. What? They already teasing people fucking Logan Paul. Like the match hasn't even happened yet. Like, okay. It's just funny, that's all.
Yeah. Fickle S fans. But do you have any thoughts on the main event overall?
It was good. I mean, Seth led Jay into a pretty good match. And I thought Jay, looked good, from what he was doing there as well. Selling well, not, over reliant on the super kick using when it matters, you know what I mean? So, and Seth is just a fantastic in-ring wrestler. Nice near falls, Typical Raw main event. Good. Not great. Nothing like special or memorable, but it was good.
Yeah, I agree. I brought it up earlier, Penta and JD. I thought that was a fantastic match. JD is very good. People seem to forget. And Penta's Penta. Penta does Penta things, and he's in that spot for a reason. This setting up for this weekend, which we'll talk about. Do you have any quick thoughts on this match?
What you said, I agree.
All right. Or could like one of the whole show before we start the show. I'm just gonna, someone. Originally was supposed to be Bruce Raw. That was a match, but he put it on here instead because he was, yeah, man, you real about and he's in roll. And then Sheamus trained, who got like he popped the big pop the night. The fans love Sheamus. Sheamus coming out, definitely not eating a lot of hamburgers, as Drew McIntyre once said. And they really need to just break up the tag team of Chris and Austin. Just make Austin a face. Make Austin a baby face. And just get him away from Chris. Like, I don't know. No. I think. Oh, no. Oh, did you say Grayson Waller or Theory?
Grayson Waller.
I'm surprised what. I'm surprised Austin was like. To be honest. Austin, I think. I don't know. Like, I think he still has something to add, at least. So I think would be worth it. That's true. Do think he should. They should try and be baby face because I mean, going back to what I said earlier, is like when they tried to make him this heel or just like from everyone's face, I just wasn't buying. So I think if you can try and make a baby face, see what you can do with him because he can. He's on social media, he comes across liable. Like he also can take pictures of like make wishes and stuff like that. He's good looking, Jay. He's on like okay in the ring. Like see what you could do with him as a baby face. If I can't really do anything with it's kind of not again. I don't wish anyone to lose or not. But and Grayson, I'm kind of done with him. I don't really care what him or anything. But Sheamus and Sheamus got there. You know, it's funny. He finally started to get it in his 40s. It's almost I think at the source that somebody just wanted to be like, hey, you're actually kick someone's ass. Why don't you actually do that? Right. So he did that with McIntyre. You know, he's doing the best work of his career. So, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you get it.
All right. Then Karen Cross cut pretty good promo as usual, and she came up basically.
And t-shirt sales currently.
I was literally checking up. Hey, Earthia t-shirt sales. And, I mean, they're using every television. They know he's over. They know people want to see more. It's like,
Yeah, I can point to.
I saw a clip of it. I had seen it.
Forget to watch it.
I'm being stupid. Love Kira came out cut promo, which I was do I wasn't about it just because it was last week. I'll just say it like that. This basically just set up for the weekend. Do EOS guy, we mentioned guy versus this. I don't know if that's Rhea Ripley without. She was. I don't know if it said she was filming a movie. She was like off the week in Australia, but I thought it was a great match. Afterwards, Roxanne shook hands with EO, and then Julia attacked her, and then Roxanne will attack her. So it sets up a tag match for next week. Rhea Ripley and EO Sky versus Roxanne, that is, and Julia. So it looks like Julia and Roxanne are very roster bound. Do you have any thoughts on
No.
it? Okay. Next, yeah, Rusev. Rusev's first match in WWE in 5 years. Wrestling Otis. I thought this was great. Not a great match per se, but I thought this was just a great showing for Rusev. Like Rusev, to me, looks like he's in the best shape of his career.
Oh, yeah.
Otis, I like Otis. Otis, I think, is somebody that looks good in his spots. You know, his spots are mainly to put people over, and he does a great job in it. He did a good job selling for Rusev. Afterwards, you had Tozawa, who went out there and took a beating. It's funny, like with Tozawa, when it comes to protecting his friends, he doesn't back down from anybody. You know, like he had the bit with Gunther a while back where that was a squash match, but that's probably one of the best matches I've ever seen. Because the people were really going for Tozawa, even though they knew he wasn't going to win. So, again, I'm happy to see Rusev back. I like Rusev coming back as a killer. It pleases me. But what do you think about Gunther out here? Or not Gunther, Rusev.
I was like Gunther. Great showcase, great facial expressions. Did what they need to do against Otis, and I like what they're doing with them so far.
Nice. So with Rusev, after Otis, I'm assuming he's going to do something with Tozawa, probably next week or the week after. Where do you see Rusev going as far as like a feud?
Don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, agreed. Next is you had a Pat McAfee and Gunther face off, which Pat McAfee again another week in a row he cut a really good promo. His promo reminded me of just like an old school wrestling promo, where he played off of the emotions of the crowd. And like I mentioned, they're in Nebraska, and Nebraska, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really think gets a lot of entertainment as far as like wrestling shows or concerts or whatever. And he was really playing off of the emotion of the crowd. He's like, "Yeah, the coach of the Nebraska college football team is here. Yeah, he's awesome, right?" And he even got like a Michael Cole chant, and Michael Cole looked like he wanted to cry. Like it's just like for years, Michael Cole was seen as like the worst announcer, and now everyone loves the shit out of him. Or Mainly because Vince left, Michael Cole seems less shackled. But yeah, just Pat McAfee. Just again, he reached into his bag and decided to cut like a 1980s, old school babyface wrestling promo, and I loved it. And I want to see more. I like seeing those kind of promos. Just use the crowd. Play off of the emotions of the crowd. And then Gunther, telling him, you better hug your baby girl because I'm going to choke the shit out of you this Saturday. And then, that's pretty much all he needed. Gunther getting really good, heel heat. But overall, what were your thoughts on this promo?
Thought promo from both sides was good. Can't wait to see the squash on this weekend, Saturday.
Yeah, like that promo really made me look forward to the match, even though it's gonna be a squash. But sometimes a squash match can be a great match. It just matters how you avenue it. But I think both guys can pull it off.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about NXT. The opener, Joe Hendry, the TNA champion with Hank and Tank, the NXT Tag Team Champions versus Dark State. During which, Trick Williams come out and take out Joe Hendry, and they brawled all the way to the back, which caused the tag champs to be pinned by Dark State. And there's more on that later with Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. Yeah, Connor Jordan versus Zarya. The story is Zarya is jealous of the fact that Soruka is champion and she's not. So it would cause Zarya to be a little aggressive in this match. She speared the shit out of Kalani with the barricade, and then threw back in the ring into the F5, and that's about it. Yeah. So, I like seeing stuff like that. Next is you had the Battle Royal. You had the Battle Royal, 25-man Battle Royal, which include XE, LFG of all TNA wrestlers, competing to see who would face Femi for the not TNA championship, the NXT championship at Battleground, which is going to be in 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we were surprised by the return of Elias, who's now Elijah in TNA. I was happy. I've always liked Elias. And the whole crowd was chanting, "We work with Elias. We work with Elias." Or no, oh, what the Elias? And he said, who wants to work with Elijah? But it's good saying that. For WWE. Go back to Henry and Trill Williams. Trill is big in the Battle Royal overall. I think those eliminations and then Joe Hendry came out and caused a distraction for Elias actually eliminated. So they brought him back. And Ava made an announcement that it'll be Trill Williams versus Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship. So TNA Championship will be defended on WWE pay. So pretty fun. As for Battle Royal, Battle Royal, I was thinking it was going to be Javon. That one. Javon ended up getting eliminated by Ethan Page, and instead of Ethan Page and Sean Spears and Ryan. I'm just not really one of these, but Miles Bourne. And Miles Bourne ends up winning both of them. So Miles Bourne is number contender for the NXT match, which I versus I think good for them because this NXT men's main event scene, they need more stars, and I like Miles Bourne's work. I think it's funny, like he looks like Randy Orton's son, like, and they really do play a little with that. He looks like Randy Orton. He's very good in the ring. I think he could be a pretty good babyface for them. Mainly, I'm surprised I haven't really made like a babyface. He's so good for him. Good for Miles. Should be a fun match, but we'll see. What do you think about Miles Bourne?
Something different, something cool, and yeah, and we sit there with the match with him and with him. Want to see if they can build up this short time. So I have an issue with it.
But I mentioned Timothy Thatcher was in it because he's involved. Wesley and that Wentz had a bit match where they're actually helping each other eliminate someone. So kind of teasing, a possible reunion of MSK, which I hope that's the case. But yeah, the battle royal was pretty fun. Good for Miles Bourne. Next is Jada Parker versus Carmen Petrovich. Parker ends up winning the match. Eventually, she ends up doing her. I forget what her move is called, where she ends up hitting it on Thea Hale. So I guess they're gonna have a feud. Main event time. You had Julia versus Jordan Grace to determine the number one contender for Stephanie McCour's NXT Women's Championship. I thought this was a very, very good match. It looks like Julia's on her way out. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have a Julia and Stephanie match. They kind of have to. I mean, that's kind of the match that is the money match with these two. But I'm glad Jordan won. I mean, because Jordan is still very good, and Jordan is still somebody that can be used properly. And I thought this was a really good match. I thought this was very hard fought, from beginning, middle, end. And I think the right person won because I think they want to save Julia and Stephanie for probably the takeover before SummerSlam, if there is one. Heat Wave, I'm assuming, but yeah, good match. Jordan and Stephanie should be a great match, and I'm looking forward to it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Jordan Stephanie should be a damn good match. It's gonna be something that fans are really gonna be looking for and investing in, and can't wait to see it.
All right. So that's the TV shows. I think you can have on time, might I?
Yeah, I almost shit.
Okay, take this. No, apparently match back in 10 swerve because why not? All right. So Saturday.
I don't think it matters because I think it's I don't think America. Because I don't think that you care, right? You know.
Right.
Oh, like,
All That's all right. So this week, Backlash will be Saturday, the 10th. It'll be in Dayton, Missouri, the in person. And so far, their buy is so it's kind of the house. So you have Missouri over for the Intercontinental Championship. Say no.
Again?
Down next to
Okay.
versus kind of the Intercontinental Championship. Shift match. I don't think really sure out food and fans going to the crowd beat up. Let's come on.
Yeah. For now.
All right. You have Dom's his last. Fatal 4 match United States Championship. Big 5-2. LA Knight, Dave Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Jacob 5.
Yes, agree.
I mean, two matches that the chance to be very good. And you have 4 guys in there that are going to beat the shit out of Jack. So, Jacob 5.
This is going to be a heel down at night.
Oh, agreed. Pat McAfee versus Zuler. I'm looking forward to this. I mean, initially it should be a squash match, but it could be a fun squash match. I think Pat will definitely get some offense in, but I can't picture this much longer than 7 minutes maybe. Secular, obviously.
Yes, Gunther.
All right, WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship. Lara Valkyria versus Becky. Becky's winning this. There's no doubt about it.
It's a disqualification where Lyra wins. and keep the title or something like that. But I think if they don't do that, then Becky's winning.
All right. And lastly, John Cena versus Randy Orton. John obviously winning. Let me ask you something. Do you think R-Truth gets involved?
Possibly. I think there's a chance that Cody may be back. There's a chance that Travis Scott may come back. So,
Like I can picture
all those particular scenarios are up in the air.
I can picture R-Truth coming out and screwing over Randy because he's like, "That's my childhood hero. You know, he deserves to be the 17-time world champion." And there's always another side to a story or blah blah blah. So I can picture R-Truth come out and fucking over Randy, just because of his childhood hero, John Cena. So, yeah, that's the card. I mean, card doesn't look all that great to be honest, but I mean,
I am way more excited for this card than I was for WrestleMania. I think this card looks great.
Right. I mean, the two championship matches, with the men, I think are the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title could be very good.
I'm only worried for the main event. That's it. So.
Yeah, the main events, there's going to be some gaga. That's kind of the best way I'm going to put it, but that's Backlash, people. Do you have any news?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
It went through everything that's I mean, there's really not. I mean, I have news, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Okay. On a side note, this is kind of a non-wrestling related topic. Have you ever played Elden Ring?
Yeah.
So they're making an Elden Ring movie.
Nice.
It's going to be for A24. And Alex Garland, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that name. He'll be directing it.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex Garland. He's made 28 Days Later, and the new one, 28 Years Later. Ex Machina.
Have you played Elden Ring?
I haven't.
You have not?
It seems like a really complicated game.
You don't know what you're missing, man. It's really good, man. Really, really, really fun game. Well, are you interested in? Are you interested in the Elden Ring movie, even though you haven't played the game?
I mean, the fact that A24 is doing a video game movie is interesting. Because I know that.
I mean,
I know they're doing a
just
Death
because
Stranding.
A24 is doing it doesn't make it's gonna be. Now they have a great track record. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't equivalent to like, right. It's gonna be a good movie. You know what I mean?
Right. They're doing a Death Stranding movie as well.
Are they gonna get fuck? What the fuck? Nemus? I always forget his name. Raymond.
Raymond.
It's Raymond, right?
Norman? Who are you talking about?
Norman? What's this fucking Dale from fucking
Norman Reedus? Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. There you go. Are they gonna get Norman Reedus to play the character?
I don't know, because it's weird because they're doing a movie on a game that was technically a movie.
But Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Okay, like it'll be weird not to, you know what I mean? And being that Death Stranding is not that old of a game either. And
didn't Guillermo del Toro direct the game or do something with the game?
No. That was Shigeru Miyamoto. That was Hideo Kojima.
Okay.
That's 100% Hideo Kojima.
So Ari Aster, who directed Hereditary and Midsommar, is actually directing the movie.
Okay, well, I'll check it out once it gets close. So, yeah.
So I don't know. For any video gamers, I just thought you guys might be interested.
Well, I think everyone's waiting for GTA 6.
Yeah, that seems to be the big topic of discussion.
Did you see the trailer by chance?
I haven't. No.
Well, I know you're not interested in it, so I thought you would at least check the trailer out.
Yeah, I feel like an asshole because everybody's hyped up about this. I'm just like, I never got into the games, unfortunately. I don't know, just wasn't my cup of tea personally. But I don't know. Anyways, Nuggets are getting their asses beat, so that's.
Well, I told you that the Thunder they came to play. I don't know the score right now, but I'm pretty sure that they're killing the Nuggets.
They're up by 30 something, I believe.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to be that bad, but yeah.
And Jokic fouled out before the end of the third quarter.
Oh.
So
It's
yeah,
gonna be a long series. I think it'll be. I think it's gonna be Thunder in 6. I think it's gonna be Thunder in 6.
should be a fun series. But all right, people. I believe we're done for the night. We talked about everything we need to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I mentioned, since there was no YouTube stream due to technical difficulties, I will just upload this audio portion onto YouTube, and the rest, Spreaker and Spotify and whatnot. But thank you to Justin for always being here and doing what he does and making the show works the way it does. So thank you, sir.
Yep, absolutely.
Shout outs. Shout out to all of our friends, Wrestling Soup, of course, Mish, for giving us this platform. So thank you, Mish, Joe Numbers, John Draper. Happy birthday to John Draper, actually. Happy birthday,
wow,
John.
nice.
So if you're listening, John, happy birthday, my friend, from Spitball Media. Along with the rest of the guys at Spitball Media, B-Show, Brian, and Shaheen. Trez, our friends RJ, Jeff Lippman, and Ruben Prime. And also, I'm going to mention it till the end of time. Forever shout out to Kevin Castle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're sorely missed, my friend. We miss you. And wherever you're at, we hope you're doing all right wherever you're at. So thank you, Kevin. Love you, Kevin. And where you can find the show, anywhere that podcasts are distributed, like Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, and of course the YouTube channel. And Twitter X, DY Experience. And like I mentioned, we're here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, hopefully, whenever it does work. But I got nothing else to add. Justin, what about you?
SpineButcherTees, SpineButcherTees.com. Go and get yourself a t-shirt. SpineButcherTees on Instagram. Follow me there. And see what I'm doing inside my shop, SpineButcherTees at Wonderlands of the America, inside of Crossroads Mall, aka Wonderland of the Americas. Get yourself a t-shirt, Funko Pop, action figures, keychains, socks, lucha masks, trading cards. I even have I for some fucking reason over the weekend, a guy brought me some belts, and he brought me 2 other belts the other day. So I have replica belts for some reason because they're not gonna sell because they're too fucking expensive and people don't have money. But anyway, I have them. That's my problem. That's my problem there. But yeah, just support. That's all I can ask for. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, we're done. The night, people. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same channel. And peace out.
See you later, guys. Peace.